John Fredericks. He's America's Godzilla of truth. All week long, he's world-renowned for his proficient proclivity to prophesy the people's political picks with pinpoint precision.
Yeah, baby.
Then, on the weekends, he gets with the guys that are pretty wise, and Godzilla wins. Godzilla Wins, the sports picking show for winning dough. Money lines, parlays, over-under, the best plays. You choose the game, Godzilla picks the winners. Get expert analysis, exclusive insights, and have a little fun. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla Wins is your guide to picking winners. Godzilla Wins, on the screens of your TV and favorite devices, commanding radio airwaves far and wide. Before you make that play, hear what the Godzilla crew has to say. Presented by WestVirginiaSportsNation.com, it's time for Godzilla Wins, all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Oh yeah.
For entertainment purposes only.
Welcome to another episode of Godzilla Wins on this beautiful Saturday morning. Maybe the only beautiful part you have left if you're on the East Coast. About to ramp up for a huge winter epic event. But, you got us first to bring that in, get your picks ready. I know the NCAA football's over. College football is getting down to its Final Four, but there's still plenty of stuff. NCAA basketball is ramping up. There is a big UFC card. We'll touch on that later tonight as well. But welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mitch Rogers, joined by John Fredericks, Brendan Statler, Chris Saxman. We will do some picks. So that's a reminder, this is a gambling show, and it's for entertainment purposes only. But if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537. That's in Colorado, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, New Hampshire, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Wyoming. 1-800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelpline-ma.org in Massachusetts. Call 1-877-GHOPE-NY-text, HOPE-NY 467-369 in New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP in Arizona, 1-800-522-4700 in Kansas and New Hampshire, 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org in Connecticut, 1-800-BETS-OFF in Iowa, or visit opgr.org in Oregon. I still put ones in front of my phone numbers. I think I'm the last one to die. I leave voicemails and I put ones when I dial long distances. Anybody else still do that anymore?
No.
I don't think you have to do that anymore, do you?
No.
Not since the mid 20th century.
Not since the rotary phone. All right, well, welcome to the panel. First of all, I want to thank our sponsors, WestVirginiaSportsNation.com and WV The Torch. If you go to WestVirginiaSportsNation.com, you'll find my lovely column. It may have gotten booted already, but I took the top 5 West Virginia football games as the schedule came out, and I ranked my top 5. Brendan, man, without any rivals on there for West Virginia, it's kind of a weird, boring schedule. Oh, you're muted. You're muted real quick. But yeah, so the college football ended, and now all the schedules for the new season are upon us. And so I broke it down. Go to WestVirginiaSportsNation.com for that. But we got a lot to talk about. NFL is never off. Even if all the teams are gone, they're still going to have headlines in the news, and that is the coaching carousel. Chris, the latest one is Sean McDermott being fired by the Buffalo Bills. I don't even know if it's the latest one. There's like 10 or 11 openings. That I may be wrong in the latest one, but it feels like a debacle up there. You had Bean promoted. The owner, they're talking about the drafting of Keon Coleman, and it just feels like that they are, if they're not stunting Josh Allen's growth, there's something happening here, and it feels like Sean McDermott may have been the scapegoat in this situation. He seems like a darn good coach to me.
Well, it's sort of like the Mike Tomlin factor, isn't it? You haven't won the big one, and there's a point at which I think ownership goes, what's going to get us over the top? Do we need to shake up here? Do we need to shake up the organization? It's just not clicking. It's just not working. And it's a great team, but there's something missing there, quite frankly. And I feel bad for the people of Buffalo and all their fans, Buffalo Nation, Buffalo Mafia around the country. I think they're one of the sentimental favorites in the NFL to finally win a Super Bowl, especially with a talent like Josh Allen. But when you get past that rookie contract and you go long term, it takes away from the rest of the team. And in a salary cap league, parity is going to win out, and that's what we're finding right now. You're seeing like Bo Nix. That's a rookie deal, right? When Roethlisberger was winning, it was when it was on the cheap. When Brady won early on, it was on the cheap, and they restructured contracts and they remained competitive, and the teams remain competitive. But there's just that edge is taken off. Lamar Jackson. When you're running $75 million against the salary cap, that's going to take away from your defense and certain critical skill players, isn't it? And that's the nature of the NFL. That's why it's competitive across the board. That's why it's exciting. And going towards the playoffs, you'll have 2/3 of the NFL is pretty much in contention in December, and that's the way they want it. That's what cranks up ratings, and it makes for parity in the league.
Yeah, and John, Buffalo lost 33-30 in an overtime thriller. Just Josh Allen. It could be more of a knee-jerk reaction, but it seemed to be.
If you watched the press conference, and then you read about it after, which I did, Terry Pagula, their owner, what really did look. That was a catch, right? We're going to argue about this like I'm still arguing about the Mike Renfro catch for the Oilers in the Pittsburgh game in 1978, right? So we're going to be arguing about, and by the way, that was a catch, and the Oilers would have won that game. But that was
even though they lost by 14 points.
That was it turned the game around. That was a catch, right?
Yeah. That would have made up for half the lead.
Dynasty.
What happened with Pagula is this, and he's the owner, and he said this. He said he went in the locker room after the game, and he said the wreckage was like made me sick. You got my star quarterback crying. You got half the team in there with their heads down, all upset. He said, I've never experienced emotion. He said, I walked by Josh Allen. He didn't even acknowledge me. His head was sobbing in his hands. He said the locker room was complete wreckage. He said, at that moment, I had to make a change. I have to do so. I own the team. At the end of the day, I'm accountable. Whatever decisions I make, I have to get something different, something new, and I have to put this behind me. And McDermott, he said, look, 8 out of 9 seasons, he got me in the playoffs, but he didn't say, I think the words were, he didn't get past the proverbial, he didn't get the proverbial promised land. They wanted to go to a Super Bowl. He couldn't do it. He couldn't get past, he was the first round, and he said he had to make a change. And, as you own a company, sometimes you just got to make a change. And what was he going to do? He's not going to throw his GM under the bus. That's total chaos. Coming up into the draft. So he gets rid of McDermott. And they asked him, was this an emotional decision? He said, absolutely. But also, he didn't get the job done. And I've had enough, and we need something different. We need a spark. He's not doing it. That's why I fired him.
It's tough. And Brendan, it's NFL is a one and done league. It's the best playoffs in the world. But a lot of times there's some, cruelty that goes along with that. He's put him in there. In the dance, he's 8-8 in the playoffs. McDermott is 98-50 regular season, and then it's up to his team to perform when it gets there. It just doesn't seem to me that it's been McDermott's in-game strategies that have cost them in the playoffs. It is running into Patrick Mahomes. It's Lamar Jackson's. I know this time it was Bo Nix, but this is a Sean Payton Super Bowl ready team that Bo Nix is the one kind of weak part of his team, but still pretty good. So this is a good Denver team. I get it, but knee-jerk reaction, could it be a watch what you wish for moment? It's the most coveted job out there, maybe besides Baltimore, right?
We still don't have Brendan here, but look, the bottom line of this guys is when you look at a lot of these coaching changes, some guys just shouldn't be head coaches. Like Callahan at the Titans is not a head coach. Some of these guys shouldn't be head coaches. I don't know who would ever hire the Giants guy, Daboll, as a head coach when he's, basically trying to circumvent a concussion protocol with his new star rookie quarterback. That's insane. Right. So I would never hire that guy as anything. He might end up as, OC for the Titans. Fine. Can't be a head coach. A lot of people out there have failed as head coaches, Spagnuolo, Kingsbury, etc. But you got to win games. And
that's what it comes down to.
Waxman nailed it. We have We have parity in the NFL. That's what the salary cap does. That's what baseball needs. That's what hockey needs. I mean, you follow hockey, Saxman and Brendan now. I mean, you got San Jose, the laughing stock of the NHL last season, actually has an outside shot to make the playoffs. They're playing decent hockey. You in a season or two, because of the salary cap and parity, you give fans a shot. That's what the NFL's done. That's what baseball has to do.
Well,
absolutely, baseball has to do it.
Do you guys have me now?
Oh, there he is, Brendan. Okay,
sorry, guys. I don't know what was going on with this microphone.
I've thrown you three questions. You got to answer them all right now. Here's the midterm.
I got to answer them all right now. Where do you want me to start?
No. But when you see a coach of this caliber, again, kind of a Tomlin-esque coach, where they'd be like, if you fire him, he'll be picked up tomorrow. But when you are no longer even the best in your division, you're seeing New England rebuild, come back. New England dominant when Josh got there. Obviously Brady, everybody leaves, rebuilt and already good again and better than you are right now. So I can see why the owner would make these decisions, right?
Yeah, and I think John or Saxman, I can't remember which, alluded to this while I was messing with my microphone here. It is similar to what we saw with Tomlin here in Pittsburgh and even what we saw with Harbaugh in Baltimore. I mean, McDermott's a good coach, but at the end of the day, he wasn't getting the job done. This was their year. There was no Ravens in the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs weren't in the playoffs. This was the year for the Buffalo Bills to finally get it done, and they fell flat on their face yet again. So, it's not always the coach's fault, but at the same time, you can't fire the entire team. It always starts with the head coach. So I get why they moved on. And, I think McDermott would be picked up fairly quickly. Maybe even a candidate for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who knows? But when you just can't get over the hump, you're getting eliminated right away in the playoffs year after year after year. I mean, you're not going to keep your job much longer.
And it's crazy that John brought it up too, that one controversial call can just change the face of an entire franchise. I mean,
or a field goal, missed field goal.
Or a missed field goal.
The only thing that's getting me through the playoffs is watching the Baltimore Ravens fans' reaction to Tyler Loops missing that field goal. I watch it probably every day and just thank God it wasn't us missing the playoffs. At least we got into the playoffs and beat our division rival.
And by the way, everyone listening to Godzilla Wins. I'm your host, Mitch Rogers, joined by John Fredericks, Brendan Statler, and Chris Saxman. We are talking about the NFL coaching carousel that's going on. The big one we're talking now is the Buffalo Bills. And what I love about sports is sometimes you can bring up negative, but I love the good, soulful sports stories. And Phillip Rivers this year has absolutely been one of those stories, hits all the marks, comes in, like looks like a dad bod, comes in, plays pretty well. But now, but it's not over. The Phillip Rivers storyline is still around. He is being interviewed by the Buffalo Bills, not as an advisor, not as a quarterback's coach, as a head coach. He's a head coach of a high school football team.
Bad idea.
But at least bring him. Hiring would be a bad idea. But interviewing him, Chris, is it all for show? Or John, go ahead.
I think he's a Hall of Fame quarterback eventually. He just backdated that thing for another 5 years. And it's if Phillip Rivers says, I would like to interview for the job, you take the interview. As a professional courtesy to a Hall of Fame quarterback who, but he has no head coaching experience or coordinator experience in the NFL or in college. I think he coaches like a high school team. And maybe bring him on as a quarterback's coach or an offensive analyst or coordinator or something along those lines. But head coach, it's too big too soon, even for a guy like Phillip Rivers. You wouldn't do it for Ben Roethlisberger. You wouldn't do it for Tom Brady. I don't know what the hell Tom Brady's doing in Vegas anyway. You can't turn around that organization. You're just not going to. No. God bless you, Tom, for trying, but it's just not a fit. You have to earn that. You have to be on the sidelines. You have to understand organizational structure, leadership, the whole bit. I just don't think it's a good move. Buffalo can't take that risk right now. They need a winning coach. They need someone who puts wins on the board.
No, he could Pete Rose. He could still play and coach.
You don't open up a new stadium with a reach on this with a Hall of Fame generational potential.
I got two words to say about Phillip Rivers interviewing for head coach. Jeff Saturday. That's it. Coached in high school, went to the Colts, total chaotic disaster. Yeah. And I tell you the other thing, Rivers has got 12 children, 10 children, grandchildren. I mean, the coaching
grandkids,
job.
too.
When Steve Spurrier went to the NFL, remember he made fun of the coaches and said, "Yeah, I'm playing golf. All they do is work 18 hours a day. They're in the film room. You know what? It's like it's overplayed. You know."
I
my
was in
guys know what
Redskins
to do."
media then.
Right, Richard, right? He was like blasting the other kid, making fun of the other coaches. How long that last, right? I mean, you got to do the work. You got to figure this out. And I just don't see Rivers doing that at this stage of his life.
John, you bring up something. Bring up an interesting point there. I think it was the coach. Who's the coach of Seattle? Mike McDonald. Is that his name?
Yes.
Yeah. They interviewed him, and he said he spends 1/2 of an hour with his young son every week. 30 minutes. That's all he has time for in a week with his son during the season. Now, Philip Rivers has 10 kids. Maybe he's trying to get out of the house.
He could be.
At this stage of the game, right? Maybe he's going, I could use a little time off.
He's like, this was easier when I would just kind of like,
I think Saxman he wants to get out of the house. Saxman, I never thought of that. It's like, let me.
Yeah, that was when he came out of
January. I'll see you in February.
August to January, I'm out.
It is interesting. I wonder with Philip Rivers, I wonder if it's a legitimate interview or if it's just him saying, "Hey, I have aspirations to be a head coach at some point." It's a cool storyline. I wonder where Buffalo's really going to go. It seems there's a lot of interested party coaching candidates that are still playing, specifically on the LA Rams, and that's where the Steelers seem to be looking at a couple coordinators over there. I mean, so in the coaching carousel so far, you've had, obviously the Ravens fired John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh has now been signed by the Giants. The Ravens hired Jesse Minter as their head coach. That was a good hire. Titans got Robert Saleh. We'll start there. John, Robert Saleh. I'm glad that league representatives and GMs and owners look at the Jets and just laugh it off. Like, okay, you got your chance, sort of, quote unquote. But Saleh did a pretty darn good job getting the Jets defense. They drafted well. That was a defensive juggernaut or potential. They thought they were doing the right thing, and probably potentially when they brought Aaron Rodgers. But the ACL, we know how that goes. Saleh, scapegoat, didn't really handle it that well, but it's done a phenomenal job as a defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers in a year where they were just decimated with injuries.
Well, look, I think the Niners. I think what he did with San Francisco with half a team, getting guys off the street to play cornerback in a playoff game and win. I mean, I think that was why he got this job. Look, we don't know what happened with the Jets. We know that the locker room was complete dysfunction. I know that the Titans, for all their problems, don't like that, right? They like everything just a certain way. So that's the way Amy prefers it. So we'll see what happens with that. We don't know if the Jets were the Jets or if part of it's him. We're going to find out. But look, you got to get a defense, right? Now we're getting back to you got to get a defense. You can't score, 8 touchdowns a game. You got to get a defense. Robert Saleh's done that. He showed it in San Francisco. I think he brings a certain toughness there that the Titans need. And as far as I'm concerned, I just didn't want one of the lower level retreads. Nagy, Spagnuolo, Kingsbury, forget it. Arthur Smith, forget about it. So to me, it was anybody but Nagy, ABN. So I was happy to get Saleh, and I wanted somebody with head coach experience. So we'll see what happens. They seem to be excited about him, and it's pretty good. What about the tweet that Baker Mayfield sent out on Stefanski with the Browns? He said, "See ya twice a year, coach, after you kicked me to the curb like a piece of garbage. You never called me. Screw you." That took balls, didn't it?
I love him, Baker Mayfield. And for those that don't know what happened, so he was obviously drafted by the Cleveland Browns. As for in Cleveland land, that's as good as you're going to get. A playoff win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. The only time in 20 some years they beat the Steelers at home. But they got greedy, didn't think it was enough. They mortgaged their entire franchise for Deshaun Watson for some reason. And they let I love the people that underneath are like, Baker, you demanded a trade. What are you talking about? But Brendan, of course you're going to demand a trade when you just traded your whole franchise for Deshaun Watson and made me a backup quarterback. But I love it. He just throw. And so now Stefanski's hired for the Falcons. They're in the same division. Smack talk already.
Good Lord, wouldn't you request a trade out of Cleveland as well? Yeah. Good Lord, it's called the mistake by the lake for a reason, guys.
Very
Nothing good comes out of Cleveland.
No.
Well, I
love the tweet.
I think the Falcons made a good hire, guys.
I do too.
I think that was a good hire. That's a good football team. I know my son Jack is a Falcons fan now, and he was a supporter of Raheem Morris. I never saw it. I just never saw the guy as really being like the guy there. And look, Stefanski, he took that team to the playoffs a couple times. He's a pretty seasoned head coach, and I really think that's what Atlanta needs. Somebody to come in there and kick some butt, because they got a good young team, and I think they're going to do better. Now, of course, their quarterback's gone, and I'm not sure that Michael Penix is the guy. But I think that was, of all the coaching decisions made, I thought that one for the Falcons was really solid.
Yeah, I think Stefanski's a much better coach, and he's given credit for it because he went to Cleveland. But the ownership screwed him with the whole Deshaun Watson contract, and Myles Garrett cannot be long for Cleveland either. He's got to be getting out of there soon. He knows if he wants to get anywhere, he'll be a Hall of Famer. But he wants a title. He wants championships, and to be on that team with Myles Garrett, it's just a crime.
Yeah, but I said the same thing about Stefanski when Cleveland fired him. I said he would be a great addition to just about any team. I think he is one hell of a coach, even though he was with Cleveland. I mean, say what you will, Cleveland did find a way to beat Pittsburgh at least once a year over the last 5 years, it seems like. So, and they've had some pretty bad teams. So, yeah, for what that's worth, I mean, I think Stefanski deserves a lot of credit for that.
No, I do too. Oh, and it's a great hire. What did he get? 2 of them? I mean, 2 coach of the year.
Yep, I think so.
It's pretty crazy.
With a 4-win team, typically.
If Atlanta solves their quarterback situation, they're a legitimate contender. Hell, they were close this year.
Well, if they had started our guy Kirk Cousins from day one, they'd have made the playoffs and maybe won a playoff game, right? They got that great running back, Dijon. They have a solid defense. They have a great secondary. You can't really go deep on them. There's a lot of things there to like about Atlanta. But, if you don't have a quarterback and if Penix isn't the guy, it's kind of the same thing with the Texans. I mean, Stroud's just not the guy. I mean, come on, man. The guy was horrible again. Horrible. So we'll see what happens.
Want to get to one of our great sponsors and then get to a couple of the coaching carousel, but Healthy Cell, John. Tell everyone about Healthy Cell, one of our great sponsors the last couple.
Well, couple of announcements I want to make. The leadoff dinner, the WVU baseball leadoff dinner, which was scheduled for tonight at Mylan Park in West Virginia at 5 o'clock. That has been moved up to 3 p.m. today, 3 p.m. So if you're going, you want to do that. I've got a couple of tickets, VIP tickets still available. If you want to go to that in Morgantown, Ann and I, we have our tickets. We can't make it because of the snow. And so we can't get back from Pittsburgh. That's why we came back here to Snowmageddon here in DC. But if you're out there, I got 2 VIP tickets, open bar, great food, Mylan Park, today at 3 p.m. If you want those, you can just call in. We'll take care of you. And that's to Al, 888-480-JOHN, 888-480-5646, 888-480-5646. You can call in for that. That baseball leadoff dinner will be today at 3 p.m. So if you're going, it's not 5, it's 3. Just to let everybody know. And I've got 2 VIP tickets. If you can make it there tonight at our table, great to have you with us. That's one thing. Number 2 is Healthy Cell. Like, I traveled all last week. I was in Santa Barbara. I never leave home without my Healthy Cell. Now, we always talk about the REM sleep, which I take, Ann and I and Joe, every single night. but also there's their multivitamin. That's in a gel pack. You need to take that once a day, get all the vitamins that you need. You try to go to GNC and you take those tablets or pill, whatever. 90% of those you pee right out of your body. It's a complete waste of time and money. But when you go to Healthy Cell and you get your daily multivitamin every day, your daily multivitamin, you're going to get everything that you need. And then you take your REM sleep at night, 15 minutes, you're good to go. All you got to do is go to healthycell.com/Godzilla. Do it now. Healthycell.com/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla. This is going to get you 20% off your first order. You can thank me later, feel better, sleep better, and live better with Healthy Cell, a founding sponsor, by the way, of Godzilla Wins. Healthycell.com. Promo code Godzilla, 20% off.
All right, you're back to the Godzilla Wins Saturday show. We're going to get to some picks a little bit. Remember, we are a gambling show. It's for entertainment purposes only. If you have a problem, just dial 1-800-GAMBLER. I'm your host, Mitch Rogers, joined by John Fredericks, Brendan Statler, Chris Saxman. We're talking about the NFL coaching carousel. Just want to touch on a couple more. One right in our backyard. John's in D.C. I'm in Virginia. Steelers fans galore. So the Ravens' job is always something we're looking at. So John Harbaugh was fired unceremoniously, especially after that awesome press conference that Bisciotti gave. We talked about that last week. But the Ravens seem to make a good hire. They get Jesse Minter, the defensive coordinator, from the Chargers. They keep that defensive philosophy. It looks like they'll still obviously try to find somebody to mold Lamar Jackson. But Chris, right out of the gate, that hire seemed really good. It seemed like the Rams coordinators are the kind of the hottest coaching candidates, but Minter was right up there with them, and pretty good hire by the Ravens.
Well, anything out of the NFC West right now is hot, right? They had 3 of the final 4 teams in the NFC, wasn't it? I think Coach Mayaka was bragging on the NFC West as a Niners guy. So they're hot. I mean, it's a hot part of the league. You know, they were down for a while. They hired up some good coordinators. They had a lot of draft picks. That whole division came up. There you go. So it's riding the wave. But can they? It's not the fact that they have to come east. Is it can he take over a depleted defensive roster with a salary cap hit on Lamar Jackson? That's going to be the question. It's managing that team and getting enough talent to fill the holes that they have to complement Lamar Jackson and, frankly, an aging Derrick Henry, who throughout the course of the season, the NFL takes its toll. And you saw him in the latter portions of the games the Ravens were playing. He just wasn't as effective. You can scheme against him. If you don't have a passing game, you can take one of those keys away from him. And Lamar Jackson, I have questioned his ability to win the big one for a long time because he scrambles so much, he runs so much, he gets hit so much, and he misses games. The reason John Harbaugh is not the coach of the Baltimore Ravens today is not because of Tyler Loop missing a field goal. It's because Lamar Jackson missed 3 games with an injury. But for those 3 games he misses, they win that division. I mean, bottom line, it's not even close. They were 1-5, and they came back and made it a run because they were all healthy on offense. Now, the defense is horrible, and maybe Minter can help out with that. But how much is left in that offense? I don't know anymore. I really don't. And I I don't like saying that about any team. It's just a I think an objective observation of the franchise itself.
Well, Brendan, what I like about the move is the Ravens kept their identity, and it's almost with the Steelers coaching search. A lot of them want to take the young offensive coordinator, but there's a lot of me that's like, hey, it's always the young defensive guy. Minter keeps that identity. He's a good defensive coordinator, one of the best in the league. And also, I think when you have what Chris has been talking about, when you have Lamar Jackson, it's going to be eating up, 70% of your salary cap. You need good coordinators on defense because you're not going to have necessarily the top talent, first or second round draft picks on there. I like the hire. What are you thinking? I wish I didn't. It's the Ravens. So it's the worst hire.
Yeah. I agree. I love seeing the Ravens lose more than anybody else on this panel, I'm sure. But I mean, this was a great hire for them, and I think the biggest reason is because, in my opinion, you needed a defensive coach to replace Harbaugh at this point. I mean, that defense last year for Baltimore was terrible. So I think, much like Chris said, there's a lot of questions with Lamar Jackson and the offense. Is he going to be the player he once was? We have no idea. So what I think their objective is going to be to this point is getting back to classic Baltimore Ravens football, which is hard hitting, intimidating defense like they had back in the days of Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs. I think they're going to try their best to replicate that type of identity that they had for so many years, and that's going to get them back to winning football. I mean, as much as I hate saying it because it's the Ravens, but that's the best way for them to go, in my opinion.
Other than Roquan Smith, name one person on that defense.
You can't.
Oh, the safety. Yeah.
What's his name again? What?
Yeah, that's true. That is crazy.
The safety guy.
They went from the most feared defense in the NFL to you can't name a single player now. So they kind of lost their identity, Chris, right? I mean, the Ravens, you had Jackson, but it was always that defense, and they kind of got away from that. Mm-hmm. And I think, teams got to have an identity, right? I mean, you know what the identity of the Steelers is? 9-8, but you got to have an identity, right?
That's
kind of an identity.
We call that winning in Pennsylvania. Down in Tennessee, that's an aspiration.
Well, I know you guys always make fun of Tomlin. It's like if they hired Tomlin, I'd be like, I'd be popping a champagne. If I went 9-8 for 10 straight seasons and half of them I made the playoffs, that'd be great. By the time it was over, I'd be 80? That'd be fine.
Hey, John, you would still have the same amount of playoff wins as the Titans do now.
Yeah.
Well, what you get in the hunt. I mean, as a Titans fan, the season is over by week 5. I mean, it's just done. And so it's so bad. You guys win games. You actually,
name for us too. To John's point about identities, name football teams with identities on either side of the football. You got Houston Texans on defense, and this is the nature of parity. There's no dominant. I watch all these highlight films on Twitter and whatever else. You see some of the days when people were just blasting each other. When you see like Troy Polamalu and those guys, there's no identity on most of these teams anymore. That's why the NFL just sort of blends. There's no like differentiation, and it's a harder product to watch than I think most people give it credit for. Yeah, the games are close because that's what parity is.
No, it's exactly right. And it's going to be interesting what Minter does with Lamar Jackson because, a lot of the reason why Harbaugh is gone because they brought in Todd Monken. First year they win an MVP with Monken. But you're trying to make him a pocket passer. That's probably not what he was. He also has to evaluate whether or not he was injured and how much, because it felt like a hockey thing all season long, like lower body. They never were specific about it, but something was holding Lamar Jackson back because he just won the MVP. A couple seasons ago, or had his best season the year before, and then played like that. So there's a lot behind the scenes that seems like it was going on. And I don't, for all, Lamar Jackson has quit on his team before his contract, his first contract. Remember, he sat out before that playoff game. They missed the playoffs. Lamar's got a problem too. So they need to really, they made the decision to go with their franchise quarterback over their Hall of Fame coach. And we'll see if it backfires or not. But Minter, good hire. For the future too, beyond Lamar Jackson, I think Minter is going to be one of those guys because they like to have longstanding coaches. Brian Billick.
Here's a couple of questions for a lot of the teams. Do you trade someone like Lamar Jackson and restock?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, Bashotti's not. Bashotти is.
I trade him.
Oh my God.
Well,
why?
Would you even, as an owner or a GM, would you even consider it? And I think you have to.
I mean, maybe you consider it, but you don't have, only if you got a quarterback back. I mean, there's no way you could just, unless you had like another person behind waiting in the wings.
Look, Tyler Huntley's not bad, and he is a very serviceable.
I mean, you get rid of the cap, and then you retool. I mean, you just got to retool. I mean, they can get a boatload of draft picks for this guy for the next 3 seasons. A boatload.
Get rid of Burrow.
Their defense is decimated. They got salary cap issues.
I'll take them.
I mean, I do in a heartbeat. And
Brandon,
maybe go to the Steelers.
I'll take Lamar.
I don't know if I take Lamar yet. I mean, the reality is he's not. I don't want to say he's old, but he's not exactly young anymore either. And you take away his legs. Man, he is the worst pocket passing quarterback I've ever seen.
No, that's not true.
Shooter
you
Sanders.
well,
That's a
if you
bit,
don't-
that's a bit of a
if you
stretch.
don't allow him to run,
You're
he-
still young. You don't remember. You don't remember.
Oh well, yeah.
The problem though is, I mean, is Lamar Jackson going to get appreciably better?
No.
If it's a stock, do you sell that stock? I do.
I mean, he needs to talk to Steve Young, right? I mean, Steve Young knew that he couldn't survive he didn't survive by being a running quarterback, and he had to get a pocket presence. That's what they were trying to do with Monken, which seemed to work out. Again, behind the scenes, something else was obviously going on, because to just fire John Harbaugh, he's their Tomlin, just to fire him and not let him go out on his own terms. So he lost the locker room and lost Lamar, and they picked Lamar over Harbaugh, it looks like to me. So
and look, anytime an ownership does that, it never goes well.
It never goes well. You're listening to
because
the guys
you hand over more power to the players, which is what you want. You want to have buy-in from the players. It's not a question. But when you say that they determine who the coaches are throughout the year, they're from there on out, they're going to be questioning and challenging the leadership of that organization. That's not healthy.
No, and back when I was doing some Redskins coverage, 20 some years ago, when Dan Snyder bought the team, that's the first red flag. All of a sudden, Clinton, you trade away, you trade away your one of the best corners in the league. You get Clinton Portis because he's fun on video games, and all of a sudden he was sitting up with the owner when he'd be injured and sitting in the owner's booth, not down with his team. Yeah, that doesn't work out. You can't run it like a fantasy team. Interesting. But this is all conjecture. They're not getting rid of Lamar.
You could stock up on multiple years, multiple picks, and restock that team on defense and get a relatively good quarterback in the draft.
I'm with Saxman. I mean,
you're not getting rid of a three-time.
They're not going to do it because the Ravens fans would absolutely implode.
Yeah,
but they should think about it.
Well, he fired Harbaugh. He's got balls.
Yeah, I mean, he does.
I mean, Bisciotti, the thing about Bisciotti, he's a successful businessman, right?
He is.
I mean, he knows what he's doing. And his press conference was a 10. Pagula's was a disaster. Biscotti was a 10. They said, well, if what's his name for the Ravens made that field goal, would Harbaugh still be here?
For one
answer. For one more game, yes.
For one more week.
That's the answer.
It was done.
He was done. He was done with him. He needed to move on. He liked stability. Right. He ain't the guy. People weren't inspired by him. He got stale, and he didn't get him to the next level. And he squandered Jackson.
Well, if they decide to blow up and trade Lamar Jackson, I'm sure they'd get the number one pick, and they may have a good quarterback. Mendoza could be the guy. Let's get to that game.
I don't see that
from Monday night.
I don't see Mendoza as a long-term quarterback.
I'll give you the floor. Indiana beat Miami 27-21 last Monday to end the longest college football season in the history. Is it February yet? But Indiana, undefeated season. We've talked about it before. In 2 years, Curt Cignetti has taken this program from the bottom to the top. It's the biggest story and the best story in college football. Miami was a great story as well. It was one hell of a game. I know we're 5 days removed from it, but that is a cool way to end that season, Chris. And I know Mendoza might not be, the number one overall pick, but he's going to be going into the draft. But Heisman winner, just had one of the best iconic plays you'll ever see. I think I had our text chain on mute, and I came back to it, and I'm not kidding. There were 172 text messages the next morning. It was fantastic. Yeah, but what a game, and what a turnaround for Indiana. Obviously,
it's one of the greatest stories in sports history. I mean, I'm ranking it in the top 10. I mean, people are going to overreact. It's the best story ever. Dial it back. You're still not going to break Jackie Robinson's first year in the major leagues or the Miracle on Ice, and that was that miraculous run there because Indiana built this thing up over a couple of years, and not to take anything away from it, but it is a great story. They're a great football team. One of the things I loved about watching Indiana football was Indiana football. I mean, you can take away Curt Cignetti or Mendoza or some of the other players on there, but it was a joy to watch a team block and tackle and run and pass the ball as efficiently and as well as Indiana did throughout the entire season. That was just simply a joy. That's how you play football. They don't try to knock someone over. They wrap and drive, and they put the guy on the ground, and they manage the ball well. They don't make mistakes. I felt so bad for that offensive lineman on that false start that almost blew the game for him down the stretch in Miami. I forget the guy's name is, but yeah, Mendoza's run was a 4th and 4 to convert that into a touchdown. That's iconic. That'll be on posters on kids' walls forever in Indiana. And should be. But do I see, not to take away from Mendoza, I just don't see him as a long-term fix for a franchise in the NFL. I just don't see it.
Brandon, I see this is where I could never be a talent evaluator, because why not? He seems like the typical prototypical pocket passer. Obviously has a little bit of mobility if you're 4th and 4 and then jumping into the end zone. So why doesn't he have the makings, or do you think he has the makings to be a top-notch NFL quarterback?
I mean, I go back and forth on this because we've seen so many players come out of college that we think are going to be great at the NFL level, and they just completely flop. I mean, prime example is Tim Tebow. So not taking anything away from Mendoza, but I mean, he's proven himself at the college level, but he hasn't proven yet that he could do it at the professional level, I think. And he's gonna get his opportunity, whether he goes first overall. Somebody is going to pick him up in the draft because he's the Heisman winner, just won the national championship and had an undefeated season. So we'll see when he gets his shot. But man, what a great job by this team! What a great job by Coach Cignetti. I mean, an undefeated season and a national title. I mean, what more can you say about that?
And John and Cignetti. Well, talk about, and I know these are cliched, but perseverance and hard work. I mean, this guy was on the Alabama staff. I mean, this guy's from Morgantown High School. Let's go all the way back. His dad was a coach at WVU. He was a quarterback under behind Jeff Hostetler at WVU. He goes coaching Alabama. He's on the Alabama Nick Saban tree. Goes to IUP, JMU, gets his shot, and not only gets his shot, gets the donors and boosters all aligned, and they flip this team on its head. And it's hard-nosed, old-school, attention to detail coaching. There's just something.
There's a lot of stories here. There's a lot of storylines. Obviously, the culture that he created there. He said the first thing I have to do is have people understand that we're just not a basketball school here. Like, we can play football. So he had to change the culture. But there's so many storylines here. Mendoza. What a great young fellow this guy is. First of all, his mom's got MS. The family's had to deal with that. But the second thing is, he got rejected. He said by 130 schools rejected him, before he finally got a shot somewhere. His dream was to play, quarterback at Miami, play D1 football. He never gave up his dream. He never gave it up. He kept fighting. And he believed in himself. I got somebody in my family that reminds me of that. He just never gives up. He keeps fighting. That's what you got to do. And he dealt with a lot of rejection. One thing I do want to mention, sidebar, because this is a gambling show, I want to give a shout out to both myself and Coach Mayako, who is playing a doubleheader today.
Yes.
Both of us were the only two that picked the Hurricanes plus 7.5 and won that bet. So all you other guys are losers. We had the winner in the championship game. I cashed my ticket. You guys tore it up. Thank you. That's why you got to follow Godzilla Picks. But look, it was just a fabulous story the whole way down, up and down. But let's not let's not forget the Hurricanes. I mean, the Hurricanes had a shot to win that game. When they went, everybody made fun of them when they got in the playoffs. That defense is real, and they played inspired football. And big shout out to their quarterback, Carson Beck, as well. That a lot of people making fun of him now in memes, but another guy took a shot, and what I'm gonna miss is seeing Michael Irvin run around the sidelines in the Miami sidelines like a crazy man every time they got a touchdown or an interception. That was so much fun.
I take for granted how connected you all are, especially you, John and Chris. We're making fun of Michael Irvin, having fun with it, and then Chris just pops a picture of him taking a selfie with Michael Irvin from a couple of years ago, and I'm like, okay, I'll stop with the shrug jokes. I'll stop with
the level of excitement that he had in that sideline is why college football is so big. I mean, here's the guy. He went there. He's an NFL. If he's not in the Hall of Fame, he should be. But he's running around. He's got his hair going. He's high-fiving everybody. I mean, that is what college football is about. And it was just exciting to watch.
Well, that's what the U's about too. The U is chaos on the side, the chain. I mean, in the '80s, getting off the bus, you know, and then Alabama in '91 whipping their ass. I mean, that is just Miami. I love to hate them. They were in the Big East. I've hated them forever.
Oh, that's a healthy hate. That's a really healthy hate.
After the show. Oh no! So I was going to say after the show, go to the SNL. That Michael Irvin comes to the
did he? They took off on that one.
Comes to the desk.
Funny.
It's pretty fun.
Let's not forget that the Saban tree began under Signetti's father at West Virginia.
I know.
So this is a pretty great story all around. When you
was that you that sent the yearbook? Like you sent that like old photo and it's Signetti.
Of the West Virginia coaching staff.
Yeah, that's
Signetti.
crazy.
He was a graduate. Nick Saban was a graduate assistant under Signetti's father at West Virginia.
It'd be nice if one of these West Virginia natives would come back and coach our school. Like, what is going on? Like Jimbo, we'll even take Jimbo.
You have your chance. You could have hired him. No,
someone
man, you guys are retreads. You don't do.
Aren't the Bowden brothers also from there too? Like the Bowdens didn't even want to.
Oh, they're all from there. Belichick's from there.
Rich Rod's going to turn around. It'll be good.
Great. Oh, they surely are. They're definitely staring down 500 ball next year. Look, and look, Saban. Speaking of Saban and this tree, he called Miami at the beginning of the playoffs. He said Miami is a very dangerous football team. Don't sleep on these guys. And he said they're the most dangerous team in the playoffs at number 10, which goes to show you the NCAA has been wrong about not having playoff football in Division I for decades. Yes. This is one of the most exciting things that they have glossed over for this stupid bowl series. All these cotton bowls and orange bowls and tangerine bowls and whatever the hell it was. Like, you have to do this for all these bowl games. No, you don't. You don't. And they just showed it again. Having this playoff really makes college football that much more fun to watch. And I honestly think it's more fun to watch than the NFL.
Now they need to expand it, right, to 16 teams.
100%.
They decided this week they're not doing that. Not for next season. Stupid. It's going to be it's going to be held off.
Now they'll end up having to go to a relegation league, and NCAA will probably the colleges, university will probably leave the NCAA for football and basketball. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, perhaps.
I don't even know why. Like, why are you part of the NCAA? Like, what do they do?
There's no value. There's no value prop.
You got another lawsuit now. What is it? Pavia from Vanderbilt. You guys got to. I know we're following this stuff. He's suing again for another year of eligibility, and he's going to get it. I'm telling you, a judge is going to rule in his favor because his point is, look, I'm not going to get drafted. I'm not big enough, but I can make $10 million playing quarterback for Vanderbilt. I'm getting my master's degree. Why can't I play? It should be 5-year eligibility because all these other guys are taking red shirts and medical thing, this and that, and it's all subjective, right? There's no clear rule. The NCAA just decides, okay, you're eligible, you're not eligible.
Right.
The thing is totally flawed. And he's like, you're costing me the opportunity to make $10 million for my family. Right? And I'm in school.
You signed Major League Baseball signs Dominican kids at the age of 15 for tens of millions of dollars. Why can't you do it a kid from Vanderbilt? It's insane that we do this. So just pay it straight up. Don't get rid of the NIL. Just get rid of the NIL. Just go to contracts. It is semi-pro ball. It's actually professional ball, played at the collegiate level. Okay, fine. But now we're bringing back NBA players and G League players to play in college who are coming. I have years of eligibility. They're going to go back and get bank at these schools.
They are. Carson Beck, obviously, it went viral last week when they asked him about classes, and he goes, I haven't been to a class in 2 years. I graduated. He's just playing professional football for the Miami Hurricanes.
Yeah, I thought that was an honest yet unfortunate statement. I thought it was a very unfortunate statement. It's like, dude, you're in college. I mean, go to class. You
could still go. Yeah, you could still take volleyball. You could still take something and
I mean, you can go to class, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
And look, I know I'm just
take a class in finance.
I speak from my own experience. I know how hard my son works in Maryland. I mean, he studies every night. He's got straight A's. I mean, he wants to get a degree and have it be meaningful in his life. And I think this idea that you can just go to Miami and not go to class. I mean, come on, man. You're in college. Go do what you got to do. Even that's a joke. Remember when the NCAA had all these rules about you had a 2.0, 2.5 and all this stuff? But, that's what happens in Miami, in the big in the Big Ten conference, you can't do that. You
In
don't
the
go
U,
to class, they kick you out.
At the U, you just date porn stars and don't go to class. And
It's just not right. I mean, the
mean,
whole thing.
Just call
Car-
it.
hey,
Look,
nailed it. It's a
Carson
whole
Beck's
thing.
figured something out. He's like the Van Wilder of
call it
of
for what it
college
is. Call it
football.
for what
Like,
it is. Look, guys, just call it for what it is. This is a professional league, and manage the contracts. Have everything open. Have everything transparent. Put a salary cap in. Do something, but just don't call this college football anymore. It's just not.
Well, now when you
There's too much money.
Now
It's
when you
time to
admit on
unionize.
TV, I haven't gone to a class in 2 years. Well, then how did you enroll? Like, are you a student?
It's like-
Like,
No.
and he just, I thought that was a very unfortunate statement. he made.
Yeah, he was honest. It was honest.
They're employees. They will collectively bargain. It's coming. Rip the Band-Aid off so we don't have to deal with the drama. Just get it over with.
That's true.
Yeah. Does anyone think Mendoza was really attending school this year?
He probably wasn't either.
Look, the thing you should make
Being
mandatory for these kids, honestly, I mean, I'm being totally serious. If you want to teach them anything at this age, take them into law classes to learn contract law and finance, insurance, labor law, learn all these things that will govern your life.
Marketing.
And you'll be successful. Marketing, whatever it is.
Investing, marketing. Yeah, I would. Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
do these kids need to be taking French? No. Do they need to be taking biology? No. The core curriculum, throw it out the window. These kids need to know how to govern their lives with this amount of money coming in. It would be the responsible thing to do, and set up annuity programs and investment programs for these kids so they don't spend it all right out of the gate. And, there's a responsible way to do this that will benefit these kids and create generational wealth.
Look at what Saxman just said about people playing in the G League and the NBA now going back to college.
That's
Like,
crazy.
if somebody said that was going to happen in the NCAA just 3 years ago, you would have said, "Oh man, no way." I mean, if there's anything the NCAA is never going to allow, that's it. But now, you go get drafted by the NBA, you don't make as much money, you're not getting playing time. You've only spent, you got drafted as a sophomore, you go back, you make millions of dollars with the NAL, you go to a college team and you don't go to class. I mean, it's like,
That's
what?
crazy.
It is becoming a joke.
Right. No. It's just
It
just
is
been
a joke.
exposed for the lie that it is. It's not about college. It's not about the amateur ideal. Forget it. I mean, kids in high school are getting paid. AAU contracts. Just
AAU
call it for what it is.
contracts.
Right.
Oh,
Just call it for what it is. The kids are getting shoe contracts in high school. Call it for what it is. Deal with it, regulate it, make it open, transparent, and just let the kids play and make money. Why would you not? If a kid, why can a kid go down the street and make money selling lemonade but can't play in basketball? Give me a break.
It's true. You listen to the Saturday
How do you balance?
Godzilla
how do you
Wins show.
balance you've got to enroll in the school and take how do you balance that? Like, is it just you don't have to go to class
In college? You mean the college?
Yeah.
But you make them take a curriculum that benefits their life. Like, you're going to be going into business. You're making $5 million a year. We're going to show you how what that means. We're going to show you what tax laws are. We're going to show you how to do all these things so you don't blow it and you take advantage of the investment these people are making.
That might be like two athletes at the
You didn't go to a
university.
single class. How do you not go to a class?
I don't care anymore. That's the whole thing. And neither does the market. The market has determined they don't give two toenails about this. They want a successful winning football program, and they want a dynamic championship game that they can stay up and text their friends. That's it.
That's true. That's true. Yep. You know what I do give two toenails about? The wellness company. I had to get it in there somehow. I've been trying to stop you guys for the last 10 minutes because the wellness company, we got to talk about them, John. They're everywhere. It's one of the coolest products we've ever advertised. And it wasn't a good segue, but it's, coming to the end of the
Get your contagion kit right here. I just went to Santa Barbara. We took this with us. I just brought it back today, Ann and I. This is why we never get sick, because as soon as you get sick, you go right to your contagion kit where they've got all this flu stuff going out. Boom, Z-Pack. Boom, get rid of it. Ivermectin. Boom, get rid of it. The nasal spray twice a day. Boom, gone. No congestion. Soon as you feel the stuff coming on, you go right into your contagion kit. You open it up. There's a guidebook there. It's preventative. So you get this flu coming on. You don't want to be out 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't beat people that have been out 7, 10 days in bed, fever sick. No, get your contagion kit. You nip it in the bud. Preventative medicine. Get rid of it. Go on about your life. Why spend a week being sick when you don't have to? right? In bed, flu, don't feel good, achy, right? Sneezing, coughing. Why do that when you can get rid of it in 2 days? Insane. And it's so affordable, especially with 10% off. Just go to twc.health/Godzilla, twc.health/Godzilla, and you're gonna get a 10% with promo code Godzilla, 10% off with promo code Godzilla. twc.health/Godzilla. Get your contagion kit, get your emergency kit. It's the new way to take care of yourself when you first get sick. Knock it out, especially in this flu season. All these flu bugs going around. I know people that have been out a week. I was out a day, 1 day, done, right? Got my contagion kit. Do it now. Do it for you and your family.
All right, we're back on the Godzilla Wins show. Getting into the end of the first hour of the show, we've done a lot about the coaching carousel. Mendoza, Indiana, winning the national title. Mendoza going into the draft potentially to be the number 1 pick. But when the football season starts winding down, we start moving on to some of the other sports. And if you've been a fan of this show, one of the most successful betting segments we do is John's NHL picks. The last couple of years, he's been on a heater. Feels like it's about the time for the NHL picks to come around. John, is it so? What's 2026 or the 2025 season look like so far for you in the NHL?
That's fun. I got to tell you, hockey is getting better and better. Here's what I do: I make all my money in hockey, lose it back in football, right? So I end up basically what happens, and then you wait till baseball, they have a good season, and then I lose it back in football again. So my football picks, except for my Hurricanes pick, you want to fade them. But hockey, I'm a beast. Hockey and baseball, beast. So this has been a great season because you got so many teams that are now in the hunt. The Boston Bruins, great story. Everybody wrote them off. They weren't even going to make the playoff. They're in a rebuild. They're playing excellent. Buffalo Sabres, I can't remember the last time the Sabres made the playoffs. They got a shot. Calgary, who everybody thought, they're going to have a pretty good season. They tanked. Carolina, smoke and mirrors. I'm sick of them. But there's a lot of good storylines. The Blackhawks, another team, bottom feeder. Now they got a hell of a shot. But the team to watch, and you could see it last season. You could see it. You could see this young team coming together, what they put together in Montreal. The Canadiens, right now, the most dangerous team in the NHL. They're young, they're fast, they play with reckless abandon. They have a goalie, which gets you into the playoffs. This is a team that's had a couple of really bad seasons. You could kind of see it at the second half of 24-25, but I think that's going to be a fun team. And obviously, the Colorado Avalanche, you just can't beat them.
They have a big game. Canadians play the Bruins tonight. That's a huge game. And
it's fun.
The Pittsburgh Penguins, we were supposed to be tanking this season, and Ben Kendall is a young up-and-comer, and Sidney Crosby is playing like his best season ever.
Well, you had that stretch where you lost 10 in a row, where you blew three goal leads 3 nights in a row. You blew a game with a tenth of a second against the Predators or something. Where you had a power play and they tied it and won it in overtime. You had all that stuff, but it's all gone now. I mean, that's the thing about hockey and baseball. It's a long season. All that stuff's gone. It's in the rearview mirror. And, Pittsburgh's got a shot. You got the Panthers are in it. 2 teams that are tanked I really thought the LA Kings would be better. They're just not playing inspired hockey. I'm betting against them on the road every night. They're horrible. So they have absolutely tanked. Ottawa's horrible. Other team that watches the Wild. So it's another good team that I'm watching every day. But Kings are horrible. Ottawa's horrible. And the other team, terrible. Everybody's picked to get deep in the playoffs. The St. Louis Blues, they're a tough watch. I mean, they are a tough watch. They don't play defense. Their 5-on-5 is awful. It's just they're a tough. You watch them on TV and you try to bet them. That is a tough watch. They've tanked.
We are back, baby. John Fredericks and his NHL picks. Football's kind of winding down, but the other sports are coming back in, including baseball. We'll talk about that in the next hour. Dodgers, $314.5 million. That's all that they've spent so far. Thank you for listening to the first hour. We'll be back for the second hour with the Dodgers story, NFL, and much more. Back after this.
West Virginia Sports Nation gives you a top-of-the-mountain view of the Mountaineers sports landscape. See what's happening in all the sports, far beyond football, basketball, and baseball. Gymnastics, track and field, rowing, swimming and diving, golf, volleyball, tennis. More sports, more stories. If the Mountaineers play the game, WVSportsNation.com has it covered. Up-to-date and insightful articles written by Mountaineers for Mountaineers Nation. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com. WVSportsNation.com.
The best part about waking up in the morning is a great cup of coffee, and I get this every day with my 1775 coffee. It's rich, it's bold, best tasting coffee I've ever had. Single origin, farmed in Bolivia, 7,000 feet. It's always fresh, roasted daily. This is the best coffee you're ever going to get. Go to 1775coffee.com, 1775coffee.com. Promo code Godzilla, 10% off. It's going to make your day every day.
You woke up with a sore throat and a low-grade fever. You know you are getting sick, so here's your choices. You can get sicker and miss work. Try to see a doctor this week or sit hours in a crowded waiting room at urgent care.
I have a smarter option for you. Open your medical emergency kit. Match your symptoms to doctor-recommended prescription in your booklet and take the right meds now and get well faster.
This is not a first aid kit. It's like having an urgent care in your home. It includes doctor-prescribed medications to treat over 39 medical issues like respiratory infections, strep throat, pneumonia, UTIs, and more.
No waiting to see the doctor and no standing in line at the pharmacy. It's right here.
Every home should have at least one medical emergency kit, and here's how to order.
Order online fast and save $45. Your kit with prescriptions to treat common and life-saving illnesses is rushed to your door. Visit twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla. That's twc.health/Godzilla. Promo code Godzilla.
John Fredericks, your Godzilla of truth, fiercely independent.
No ties to Wall Street. I promote Main Street.
The John Fredericks Media Network, privately owned and operated, on top of the issues on air and online.
Trucking the truth every day for 14 years.
The John Fredericks Show drives your morning, weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern. The only independent White House correspondent with live reports from the White House. Hit JohnFredericksRadio.com. Watch at JFMN.tv. John Fredericks, your Godzilla of truth.
Who's going to stop me now?
Nobody.
Did you know that somebody could literally steal your house? Yeah, that is a thing that happens. It is when a criminal forges your signature on one document, uses one fake notary stamp, and then spends about $30, $40 with the county recorder. They then take out loans using your home equity as collateral. And the worst part of it is, you don't even know it's happening until you start getting collections and foreclosure notices. Most people don't check on their home title because why would you feel like you needed to? But this right here is why you need to use Home Title Lock. They have a $1 million triple lock protection that helps keep your home and equity safe. It includes 24/7 monitoring with protection immediately, urgent alerts in case there's any changes in your title. Then if fraud does happen, they have a US-based restoration team that will spend up to $1 million to fix the fraud and restore your title.
Find out if you're already a victim. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now.
John Fredericks, he's America's Godzilla of truth. All week long, he's world-renowned for his proficient proclivity to prophesy the people's political picks with pinpoint precision.
Yeah, baby.
Then, on the weekends, he gets with the guys that are pretty wise, and Godzilla wins. Godzilla wins, the sports picking show for winning dough. Money lines, parlays, over-under, the best plays. You choose the game, Godzilla picks the winners. Get expert analysis, exclusive insights, and have a little fun. When the game is on your mind and money's on the line, Godzilla Wins is your guide to picking winners. Godzilla Wins, on the screens of your TV and favorite devices, commanding radio airwaves far and wide. Before you make that play, hear what the Godzilla crew has to say. Presented by WestVirginiaSportsNation.com, it's time for Godzilla Wins, all across the John Fredericks Media Network. Oh, yeah.
For entertainment purposes only.
Welcome to Godzilla Wins. We're back for the second hour of our Saturday Pick Show. I'm your host, Mitch Rogers, joined by Brendan Statler, John Fredericks, and Chris Saxman. I want to thank our awesome sponsors, WVSportsNation.com and WV The Torch. If you go to WVSportsNation.com, you can find columns and articles by Brendan and myself. I want to thank John for giving us that opportunity. It's an awesome website for anything West Virginia. I'm going to plug it real quick right now. 2 p.m. today, they play Arizona, the number one team in the nation. And
Let's go.
They've got a fighting chance, baby. It might be 18-point underdogs, but they have looked good, and you can catch all that. You can follow our Twitter feed for live mentions during the game, and also for the recap articles.
Hey, dude, don't forget to give a shout out to the women's basketball
Absolutely.
team. They're a juggernaut, man. Coach Mark Kellogg, what he's got going on there. I mean, and he retooled that entire team. The portal, he got some key people out of the portal. That guy is a 10. That guy's good.
And I'm telling you, when you have WV The Torch and John Fredericks attached to this project, you get coaches shows with Mark Kellogg. So if you go to WVSportsNation.com, John's interviews with Kellogg, including some of our other panelists that have been on the show before, it's fantastic. It's got video, all the columns, articles. I can't say enough how proud I am of that website, and it's coming up on the 1-year anniversary. Already, time just flies by.
It is really a year?
It'll be a year, February 3rd.
Wow.
February 3rd is a year. Yeah. The Edwards editorial and Mitch Please are thinking of something for the 1-year anniversary.
You got to do something because nobody gave this thing a shot when we started it. And my son Jack runs it. He's the CEO of this site. He has done a phenomenal job in putting this thing together. And but if you don't get the sales, you don't got anything. And Brendan Statler has done a super job with it, both writing and selling for the site. So Brendan, thank you for that. And
it also helps that WV The Torch is the flagship station for West Virginia sports. That also helps to bringing this on in, and it's going to be a fantastic year for West Virginia sports. So just wanted to plug them real quick. Hour 2, we're going to get into some NFL. Potentially, if I don't get to it, UFC tonight, Paramount Plus's debut for the UFC. You don't have to pay $75, and it is one of the best cards in the last couple of years. It's going to be fantastic. So if we don't get to it, I was worried we'd run out of time, then we get to it. We're not going to run out of time. I just know we won't. All right. Speaking of running out of time, Major League Baseball, December 1st, collective bargaining agreement, lockouts could be coming up, and it feels like the Dodgers. It might be a consensus amongst, 29, 28 owners that we need to get a salary cap, salary floor, do all the things. But there's a couple franchises that are like, F off. And the Dodgers are one. The Dodgers have already spent $314 million on free agents. They're going to take this luxury tax payroll over $412 million, with the Mets at $386 million, the gangsters over there. Now the luxury tax bill is $161 million for a third-time offender. This feels, John, and this has been you've been talking about the collective. You've been since I've been on this network for 2 years, been talking about the what's going to be happening in December 1st. This feels like, get to the Dodgers, but this feels like a lockout that it's going to be it's just tough because not even all the owners are going to be on board, so they all have to figure out where they want to be, and then obviously the players union is going to fight hard to not get a salary cap, maybe a floor, but they're going to lobby against a cap. John, this is going to be a mess, and we might not have baseball for a little while.
It'll be worth it. A 1-year lockout to save the game is worth it to me. My biggest fear is the owners cave, because a lot of them are just cowards. They just cave. And there's going to be tremendous pressure on them by the Scott Boroses of the world. You just got to hold firm. You can't go forward with this. I mean, I want you guys to think about this. The Los Angeles Dodgers and the New York Mets luxury tax, not their payroll, their luxury tax is higher than 5 teams' entire payrolls. You can't sustain the game. You just can't do it this way. You've got teams on the bottom that have figured out, like the Ogden Nuttix Juniors of the world. they figured out losing, you make more money.
Pirates.
They figured out a perverted model to screw their fans. There's got to be a floor. That's got to stop. Oakland or Sacramento, whatever you want to call them, Vegas, Pittsburgh, Miami, that's got to stop. I mean, it's destroying the game. But this, like, let's just buy the best players. I mean, if you look at what the Dodgers did this season, I mean, they give Kyle Tucker, I mean, he's a good ball player, $60 million a year. First of all, the guy's hurt half the season. Second of all, I mean, this is not, that guy's, he's not like he's a lock for the Hall of Fame. He's a pretty good 280 hitter. And he's an okay outfielder with a good arm. What's $60 million? Because he's there. They sign Edwin Diaz. I mean, and then the Mets just get Bichette. They outbid everybody. They even outbidded Philadelphia. You can't sustain the game. You can't go on this way. So the owners have to lock this thing down. They have to be willing to write this off for a frigging year. If they can't come back in July after the All-Star break and make a deal without a salary cap, because that's what happened the other time. Just got to say, you know what? Baseball, we got to save the game. If I was marketing this for the owners, it would be, we're going to save the game. It's going to be a generational save. Just like Gene Upshaw did with the NFL, just like the NHL figured this out. You can't have the same 5 teams buying up all the players. They figured it out. Short-term pain, long-term gain. No baseball 2027. Make the players feel the pain, get them to the table, get a salary cap, and get a floor, and then we can have parity. Right now, it's becoming a joke, and it's destroying the game.
Chris, this feels like this is something that could just last a long time, because Major League Baseball is obviously afraid, because they have been, they bottomed out, 20 years ago, especially with all the Balcos and stuff. People are getting sick of baseball. Ratings tanked. But all of a sudden, by doing this model with having the 4 or 5 big market teams, Major League Baseball's ratings are spiking through the roof. They're the highest they've ever been. So they are afraid that if they switch to a parity model, that these ratings will go away. I think that's foolish. If you make everyone's teams, I mean, Pirates fans, you would have Pirates fans watch. Even if you made everybody better around the league, or at least competitive, I would think rising tide, saves all ships. How does that work? But Chris, is that the problem, right? Because they were so close. They were bottom feeders. They're always competing against the NFL. They're never going to get close. But now they're seeing so much success running it this way, but it just can't last, right?
Well, the success is not driven by the big contracts and the Dodgers winning and going to the World Series every year. That's not what's driving this thing. That's driving the Japanese market, East Asian market. Okay, fine. But the reality is, and the Dodgers are pretty damn smart. They're buying up a lot of contracts. So when the salary cap does come in, they get to trade these guys for a lot of draft picks. Let's not kid ourselves about what they're setting up here. They're buying assets for the future, and it's pretty smart. But the reality is, you can't sustain a league when you have this kind of imbalance. And frankly, when the Bryce Harpers of the world are complaining about a salary cap, I'm like, come on. You are exceptionally well paid as an athlete. You're putting on a great product, but there's a point at which you have to protect the game, and the game is not getting more popular because of these contracts and the Dodgers. It's getting more popular because of the pitch rule, the pitch clock, and it'll get even better with the robo umpiring and the fact that they're changing the game, and they're having more stolen bases, and you're changing the nature of the game itself. It's a more entertaining, a shorter game to watch. It's not 4 and 4.5 hours to watch a 3-2 game in the middle of the season in the baking hot sun. They've changed the nature of the game. It's more entertaining. It's easier to watch, and that's why people are able to really enjoy the game of baseball. But if they have to shut it down for a year, I don't care. I mean, I swear to God,
I want to shut down. Like,
I don't.
Shut it down. I want to shut down, and I don't want the owners to cave. This is the only shot to save the game long term, and you got to have the balls to do it. You just got to have the balls to do it.
I hope they avoid it, but if they shut it down, they lock out, I'm fine. I'm siding with the owners on this thing.
Totally.
I don't think that you save it without shutting down. I agree with John on this. I think a shutdown is necessary because you don't want to see the same 5 teams win it over and over again. I mean, that's gonna destroy the game eventually. So
course.
But I love the idea that John has put out there, and I'm sure others have put out there too. Not only have the salary cap, you can only spend this amount of money on your roster, but have a floor as well.
You have to have a floor.
That is music to every Pittsburgh Pirate fan's ears, because we have probably the cheapest owner in all of baseball, and that is why our team sucks year after year after year, because he refuses to spend money. If we institute that, the Pirates may be competitive here in the near future.
Of course, a lockout.
It's an inverted model that he's. Yeah. I mean, this guy runs a business, and they have they have MBAs in there. I mean, Ogden Nuttig Jr., whatever his name is, these are not stupid people. Okay, right. So they look at this thing and they're like, if we win 60 games, we make this much money. If we have to spend the money to win 82 games, we make that much money. Well, let's just continue to lose. I mean, that's the model. So
well, it's also the franchise model. Look, how much are the Pirates worth? Say they're worth $1 billion. At the end of the day, all they're doing is paying down the debt, or if they have any debt in the thing. And so if they ever want to sell it, that's what they're worried about, is the exit strategy. So it doesn't matter to me if I'm
investment property.
If I'm spending, the difference between $65 million and $75 million is irrespective of the simple fact that when you sell this franchise for $1.5 billion, you're clear on the $1 billion you make. So that's what you look. It's like when you look at your house, it's an asset. It's just an asset. And when they eventually sell this thing, which they will, they're looking at that final nutting, that nut at the end of the day. Like, am I going to be 2.1 or 2.2? That's what they're looking at.
What happens to contracts, specifically Paul Skeens? So, of course, we're going to get a lockout when we have a generational player. Do the Pirates, would they lose a year in a lockout? Does that count as a year? I wonder how that all works. Because
are they still paid? I don't think so.
Well, they're not
lockout with Paul Skeens when we have him only for a few years. This stinks. I mean, it's going to be good eventually, but
I think what Mitch is asking is a good question. If I've got a 5-year contract and I'm in the third year in 2027 and there's no baseball, does that now extend for another year after that? And we should know that. We don't. Somebody will have to text me on that.
Yeah, I would imagine no, if they're not getting paid, and I'm imagining they're not getting paid because that's why you have a lot of players talking about going over to Japan and playing. I would imagine is because they're not getting paid.
That'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
I'd watch that. Hell yeah, the Korean League, sure.
Might as well.
They have fun.
No, I'd go.
Hell, I'd go. That might be a reason to go.
Minor league baseball. Which is actually coming back across the country because it's so cheap to go to, and you see old tomorrow stars. I think it's be the best thing for AA and AAA baseball. I think attendance would go through the roof. Maybe you put some of these games on TV like once a week.
They already are on TV. They're all televised.
Yeah, but I mean on one of the regular stations, right?
Sure. Why would you not? Why would they
I think it'd be fun.
Hell yeah. I mean, Richmond's got a brand new ballpark opening up this year.
Yep.
Why not? Plus, because of the pitch clock they've had in for years, those games, you're out of there in less than 3 hours. You go out and have a sandwich, you have a beer. It's fantastic.
I mean, when I was in Chesapeake, we went to Tides games all the time. Yeah. They were fun.
Yeah, it's a blast. I take my sons. I think anyone wants to go. We sit out in the beer porch. We get a couple of Stone IPAs. We eat some sandwiches, have a few hamburgers. It's one of the greatest nights of my life. And it's for $10. It's $10 to get in.
Yeah. Such a fan of Stone IPA too. Nice shout out there. Listening to Godzilla Wins Saturday show.
There's a potential sponsor.
If we could get them. We were talking about the Major League Baseball salary cap controversy with the Dodgers, probably leading to a lockout December 1st. So have fun with your last season of Major League Baseball as you know it. I want to give a shout out right down the road, John. When we get bored, we have a great place we can go.
Yeah, we go to Rosie's.
We can watch games. You can watch Arizona, West Virginia later. Rosie's.
Yeah, you got. I mean, come on, man. It's like if you like gambling, if you like to have fun, and you're anywhere around or near Virginia, Rosie's is the place to go. It's a simple thing. It's so simple. You like to gamble? Guess what? They have the highest jackpots and the biggest payouts. Why? Because they have the lowest state takeout in America, in the continental United States. So if you're taking less money out, you're paying more money out. It's simple math, right? You don't need a degree from Miami University where you don't go to classes to figure this out. It's so easy. More money back to the players. That's why it's so much fun. Plus, the food is great. The atmosphere is great upstairs. You got the gambling downstairs. You go upstairs. You got the sports book. You got OTB. You got Colonial Downs coming. And they're all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Plus, Northern Virginia, they got that beautiful hotel. So check it out. Just go to rosiesgaming.com, rosiesgaming.com. Have fun, win money, biggest jackpots, biggest payouts, rosiesgaming.com.
Have fun in Virginia while it lasts. Well,
you know what I'm going to do when they lock out baseball? Horse racing. How fun is it to go to the
Let's go.
Oh my God, let's go.
Sweet going.
Oh, I live in
Saratoga. Oh my God.
I live in Fauquier County, just south of Middleburg. I mean, Robert Duvall is around here. This is horse country. We got to do. Yeah, I'm
horse racing will take off when baseball's not on. Can you imagine?
You know what? We got to have you all out for Twilight Polo. It is the most fun, drunk, obnoxious thing with like people dressed up, trying to be all elite. It's fun. All right, moving on. You know what? The show's pretty easy when college football and NFL are just rolling. We literally just put on like 52 games and we just run down the sheet and pick. But I like this conversation. It just feels good to be out in the real world talking to my boys. But we have AFC, NFC championship football tomorrow. Probably it's probably my favorite day of football. It's better when the Steelers are in it for me. But, you're down to the Final Four. You're not worried about Saturday nights or anything. It's just Sunday. 2 great games. Patriots at Broncos, obviously, and then Seattle and the Rams. Lots of storylines coming in here. Let's start with the Denver's quarterback situation. Broncos quarterback Bo Nix. I mean, if we didn't go over last week's insane games. But Bo Nix, obviously we talked about them beating the Buffalo Bills. Bo Nix, when he did the kneel down, had a broken ankle. And so Sean Payton gets this Broncos team to the number 1 seed in the AFC. Great defense. When Bo Nix is playing well, they are probably the best team in football. And Brendan, all of a sudden, they get to the promised land. It almost feels like karma went for Sean Payton because he probably deserved to be in another Super Bowl with the controversial interception at the end. Payton's going to have his team primed and ready to try to go to another Super Bowl without Bo Nix. Kind of heartbreaking for that kid.
Yeah, I cannot remember ever seeing a quarterback break his ankle on a kneel down. I mean, that is what when I forget who said it in our chat. I thought they were joking at first till I actually saw the video. I mean, what a blow to the Denver Broncos, because I mean, now you have a quarterback coming in that hasn't had any playing time, and it's in the AFC Championship game. I mean, I
think it was the play before though.
Yeah, it was play before, and then he knelt down. But he damaged it more on the kneel down. I think because he wasn't his adrenaline was pumping. He said,
yeah. But man, I mean, I don't want to say that they have no chance, because I mean, still at the end of the day, they were the number 1 seed. But man, it looks more and more likely like the Patriots are going back to the Super Bowl.
The Patriots whipped up on the Texans last week, Chris. I mean, 28-16. Mm-hmm. It didn't even seem close. The talk of the town, obviously, is Drake May. It's his second year, could win the MVP. But this team is well-built everywhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, their defense disguises coverage it's unbelievable. And New England is going to be tough, even if they had Bo Nix. But playing in Denver at any time is going to be difficult. Sean Payton is one of the best coaches of all time, and I know he doesn't prefer not having his franchise quarterback, but the genius in him coming up with a game plan to try to win this. He's loving every minute of the process and the preparation to get there. I just don't know if they can execute it. It's a tough task. What do you think?
Huge task, right? And I think a lot of the unknown is in the locker room. Is the team going to be behind Stidham when he takes the field? I mean, are they going to be that confident? Because you have to be confident. This is the AFC Championship game. New England's on a heater. They're playing really well. They're a well-constructed team. I like Ben Roethlisberger's formula of success here. Build the team and then put the quarterback in versus the other way around, versus draft the quarterback and then build the team around the quarterback. Because at least at the end of the day, if your quarterback gets hurt, you still have a great team. And I think that's what New England did. And I think it's what Denver did too, didn't they? They have Bo Nix in his 3rd year maybe, and Drake May's his 2nd year. Please, dear God, get them past their rookie contracts. and just let those guys cash in early. That said, still like Denver in this game at home. They're a better team. Drake May, great quarterback. He's shown me some things that I didn't think he had coming out of Carolina. But I would take Denver here to cover.
Yeah, and it's a pretty amazing storyline, right, John? I mean, you get all the way there, but football is just
Let's
an insane game for injuries.
Let's break this down. First of all, this is a sports gambling show, and just so everybody knows, 8-4 in the playoffs, ATS, right? So it was 2-2 last week. Not good. Lost the big. It is what it is. But let's break down this New England Texans game and the coaching catastrophe that went on in the second half. All right? Can we do that for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
You got a quarterback that just threw 4 interceptions a week ago and was able to somehow win the game. So then he comes out and he throws another 4 interceptions. So he's thrown 8 picks in 4 quarters of football. You're in the game. You are not getting blown out. You have 3 picks in the first half. You're on the road. You had the lead. You're in the game. You come out and you put him in the second half. You don't put in David Mills. The guy was done. You could see the fear in his eyes. He had no friggin' clue what he was doing. He's not an NFL quarterback. It was a complete disaster for Stroud. 8 picks in 4 quarters of playoff football. And you put him back out there in the second half when you're getting the ball to start the second half and have a shot on the road. When you got a guy, David Mills, who's won games sitting in the locker room. And then DeMarcus comes out and he's like, well, it's really about, we got to get his confidence and he's just got to get a good things going. And, we're playing for the. No, you're playing to win a divisional game, coach. I thought that was and everybody just gave him a pass on it. Well, you don't want to have feel bad. If you want to coach a football team in the playoffs, have the balls to sit this guy down. He had no clue what was going on out there. Put in David Mills and give your team, give your players, give your franchise a chance to win. He didn't do it. They got smoked in the second half. Now, having said that, I love Denver and the 4.5. Why? They're at home. Why is Denver here? Defense. They're not here because of Bo Nix. They're here because of defense. When was the last time New England really played a good defensive team? They played the Texans. If they don't have 6 turnovers, the Texans win that game. Denver's going to win this game. They're going to win this game at home with Stidham on that defense. I love Denver plus 4.5.
I mean, Bo Nix may not have been the reason for them to get there, but he was the reason, or one of the main reasons, that they got past the Buffalo Bills, though. He played tremendous, and they're going to face a team probably better than that next week. But, Brendan, John brings that up, and I want to bring that up too. That Texans game, everybody, all of our friends sitting around, we thought Mills was coming in for sure. And then when he came out, when they interviewed the coach and he said he's going to bring him out because they got the ball at half, we were kind of like, okay, give him one drive, see what he does, see if the locker room pep talk worked, and it didn't. But when they came out with the second drive without Mills and they were still in the game, I didn't know what was going on. I mean, you at that point, just like John said, you're trying to go to a Super Bowl. You're trying to win now. It just didn't make sense.
No, I agree with everything John said. I figured maybe they put him out one series in the second half, see if he could, possibly get anything going, like you said, after halftime adjustments, if those are even really a thing. But when he came out and still looked flat, still looked lost, and they continued to roll with him, I mean, they might as well have just waved a white flag at that point. I mean, they were done. The entire team was done. They clearly did not have confidence in anyone else but him. For whatever reason. I mean, it was a terrible coaching decision. Stroud was done. You could tell from the first drive of the second half, it was not going to get any better. They should have made the move right then and there. They gave him plenty of opportunities to figure it out. He didn't, and that's why they went home.
Chris,
Look,
Chris, this is a blessing in disguise for the Texans. Hear me out. You've been talking about you don't want to pay those quarterbacks. Well, now they know definitively that they're not going to roll out Tua Tagovailoa, Paul Tagliabue Tua money out to him, right? Like that's just not going to happen. And now they know you had the season last year where you thought maybe it was just a blip, an anomaly after the fantastic rookie year. And then now this year, the ups and downs, the terrible game against the Steelers, obviously another terrible game. So they're not going to pay him, but it didn't make any sense. Mills is very capable, and it felt like he should have come in.
Well, let's not forget at the start of the fourth quarter against the Steelers, the Texans were only winning 7-6.
6-7. No.
Don't do that. I said 7-6. So he's not a playoff quarterback. Let's be honest. Great talent, but the NFL. Look, one of the most difficult things about playing in the NFL, and anyone will tell you this, the NFL is going to catch up to you. They're going to pick you apart. The reason why Mike McDonald of the Seattle Seahawks only has 30 minutes for his son during a week during the season is they pick apart every single player on the other team. Week in and week out, they will find your tendencies and they will exploit them. And what the NFL has done is they have figured out C.J. Stroud. And C.J. Stroud does not have an answer. And when you go into that halftime and you say, we're giving the ball back to this guy, it says to the team, this is not good. Any Major League Baseball manager would go out there and say, look, it's just not your day, right? For the good of the team. I like a goalie gets run up 4 goals in the first period, they're going to pull him. It's just not his night, right? You just got to do it and you got to challenge him. Say, look, you got to get better, and we have a chance to win. And this is a big one. And if this guy flatlines, I'll put you back in. But this can't be the standard in Houston that we're just going to stick with this guy no matter what. So
it just rolls with the narrative. It just rolls with the narrative too, and I love it because I hate New England. That New England, and by the way, I don't really believe this, but the narrative with New England is weakest schedule. I know they haven't beat anybody this year, and now they've had the easiest road to the Super Bowl because Bo Nix's injury, playing against C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, they're going to lose. I love Denver so much in this game. I bet him, and then I bet him again, and then today I bet him again. Like every time I look at the line, I bet it. It was 5.5. I took the 5.5, then I took the 5, then I took the 4.5. Now I'm betting the money line. I know Denver's going to win this game.
I feel there's a Vrabel thing.
Nobody, if they pull Mills, Texans win that game. I think.
No.
And I think they win that game, or they would have certainly had an opportunity. But to keep Stroud in, it was like, what are you playing for 2027? Like, what the hell are you doing? I mean, you got the greatest defense here you put together in football right here, right now, today. You got the greatest defense.
No, they're fantastic.
Give them an opportunity.
Right.
Horrible decision.
I'm starting to feel, Chris, are you starting to feel that and Brendan, I feel like there's a Mike Vrabel factor coming into John's picks here. Last week, get Mills in there. Let's get Vrabel out of here. Could have won. I'm starting to feel there's a little Vrabel.
Now, Vrabel's a great coach. Vrabel's a great coach. They got great schemes on defense. If an NFL team doesn't know what coverage you're in, that's a good defense. That's great disguising. And let's not. I hate to tip my hat to the New England Patriots of all franchises out there, but they're putting a quality product on the field. I just think Denver's better as a team, and Stidham will probably be a hell of a lot better than C.J. Stroud.
with Stidham, John, you're going all in on Denver, and we'll get to our picks in a second. With Stidham, how do you feel Peyton goes out here? Are they aggressive with him? Does he pull him back a little bit, or does he? I think he tries to take some shots early.
You play conservative. You rely on your defense. Your defense got you there, right? Mm-hmm. You don't want to get the 5 turnovers like Stroud had, or like like Buffalo had that in their loss to Denver. You got to rely on your defense, and so that's what I think Denver's going to do. It's going to be, I think, the first quarter you're going to see a lot of runs, and then maybe they'll open it up a bit. But look, Stidham's got a good arm. We'll see what he does, but I don't think they're banking on him to win the game. I think they're going to rely on that defense at home, keep them close, run the ball. And I think at the end of the day, they have a better team all around, and I think they're gonna win this game.
Yeah,
I think this will come down to field goals.
Yeah, and I'm rooting for it, man. We deserve it as NFL fans. I mean, these teams busted their butt. They're both great stories. So I'm hoping we have a great AFC Championship tomorrow.
It should be a great game.
Yeah, tomorrow, 3 o'clock. They are the first game. Like I said, it's my favorite Sunday, 3 o'clock, and then it goes to the 6:30 game. But we are a pick show. John's the only one that's made a pick so far. Let's do it. The over-under for this is 43.5. And the spread right now that I'm seeing is New England favored by 4.5. John, we know where he's going with this. Brendan, the under looks a little interesting with all these. I mean, right when I said the over will probably pop off, but the under seems a little interesting. Right. What are you thinking today? Tomorrow?
This may just be the fan in me and wanting to see New England eliminated, but John, let's do it. Denver to cover.
Going
there you
Denver.
Go,
you're up 4.5 to nothing, and it's Saturday.
And you're at home. I mean, that's the thing. You're at home. You played the whole season to get this, and you played in a tough conference, right? And a tough division. Played the whole season to be at home. You're at home. Quarterback's hurt. I get it. Let's go out and win this game.
How close, Chris, do you think that that Tom Brady tried to sell his shares back to the Raiders and called up Denver and was like, you can have me 1 game, 2 games.
Oh, you can't get rid of that. You can't get rid of that time frame. I'm just looking at the stats here.
Did Phillip Rivers try to get traded
between the two kickers here? You know, Lutz from downtown is 4 out of 6 over 50 yards, and Borregales he's 4 for 4. So I think it's going to come down to field position and who can capitalize on field goals. I think that's what's going to come down to, because you're not going to. I don't think you're going to have a high scoring game here. Probably take the under if you're betting those kinds of things. But given the nature of these two defenses, I like Denver because of the better defense and the better kicking game.
I'm kind of with you there too. No, I'm not. New England is going to win this game. Drake May, defense, Vrabel, Stidham. If you're disguising coverages against players that actually played since 2019 and it's working, what's it going to be like with Stidham, who hasn't seen coverages since before COVID? It's just going to be very hard to rally.
How do you take the Patriots? I mean.
I'm not going to root. I'm going to root for them to lose.
Turning your terrible towel. Myron Cope is turning over in his grave right now.
I'm not going to do it. All right. That was our first pick of the day. It only took an hour and a half to get our first pick of the day. Before we move on to the next one, I came in today well rested. I finally have my pillows, John, and they are the best things that I've ever bought.
Well, we travel with ours.
How could everyone else?
I can't sleep on a hotel pillow. I think, where do we stay in Santa Barbara? The Hilton by the beach or something. Beautiful hotel, beautiful resort. Pillow sucked, but in my bag, guess what I had? Took my pillow out. When Anna's like, she always says, like, this is the stupidest thing I ever heard. Like, well, who packs a pillow? Like, who does this? Like, why do you? Like, it takes up half your big suitcase. Like, why do you do this? Right? Round. Yeah. Right? Ragging on my pillow. Guess what? Right? I wake up middle of the night to go to the bathroom. Guess who stole my pillow all 3 nights? Ann. I'm like, give me my pillow back. Oh, no, this is comfortable. I don't like the bed pillows. Well, then why are you ragging on me? This is why I take my pillow with me. She steals it 3 nights in a row. But I'm a gentleman, so I sleep on the old raggedy pillow. That in this resort, pillow sucked. Love my pillow, but this is the other thing. I put these on the plane. My slippers, baby, right here. You don't have these. You're depriving yourself of one of the greatest luxuries in life. Had that long flight last night. I put these in my travel bag. As soon as I get on that plane, take my sneakers off, put my slippers on, enjoy my flight. So comfy. All you got to do is mypillow.com, mypillow.com, promo code Godzilla. All the savings are there. If you have a pet, we got saving the pet blanket. He loves it. Can't get him off it. Somehow it retains heat. I don't know what it does, but the pet blanket is the bomb. You got to get that. I've got a pet dog or cat. They're going to love the pet blanket. mypillow.com, promo code Godzilla. Got all the savings right there.
Listen to Godzilla Win Pick Show. Go onto the My Pillow website right now and grab slippers, grab whatever you need, pillows. They're amazing. We are getting to the next.
And stole my pillow.
And Ann stole the pillow. I can't believe it. It is tough to travel with the pillow. You could just get it shipped there, like your golf bag. Just get it shipped separately. They're never on time now. All right, the last of the NFL football games that are going to lead to the Super Bowl is going to be the Seahawks versus the Rams. Last week, the Seahawks, and we don't have Coach Vince Mayoko. For some reason, he's 3 hours behind us, but I guess he was at the fields at 4 a.m. today, getting ready for a doubleheader out in California somewhere. It just makes me so happy that there's warmth somewhere and baseball somewhere, because if you're on the East Coast like most of us, we're T-minus 12 hours, and it's about to be the storm of the century.
Hey, do you guys know, Saxman, do you guys know that college baseball starts on Friday for the NCAA for D1, Friday, February 14th. That is, what's today? The 24th?
Valentine's Day.
So 14 plus 7, 21 days, 3 weeks in a row. Maryland Terrapins open on the road against UNC Wilmington. And I'm flying straight there, Chris, from Des Moines, going to Wilmington for those 3 games. Going to be a lot of fun. But I can't believe it's only 3 weeks. It's only 3 weeks away. Joe pitched in a scrimmage yesterday, 1 inning. It was like 25 degrees out. They're playing baseball outside of Maryland, but he did excellent, I've heard. So it's going to be a fun season. Lots of good baseball coming up.
Yeah, 3 weeks away. I haven't covered baseball until last season. It was probably 25 years ago, longer than that, when I was in college. And it is fun to watch all these northern teams. Obviously, to play on February 14th, you have to go down south and you have to play. And so I just can't believe it's already
just practicing in this weather. I remember distinctly in college and in high school, catching batting practice was the worst.
Oh yeah, no, absolute.
The number of foul tips you take off your body in preseason in early February.
Metal bats.
That's fine, but the problem is they're not dialed in, so they're foul tipping everything, and it's like you feel like a pinball machine back there. You walk off, you're black and blue. It's like your parents are, "What the hell happened to you?" I'm like, I caught batting practice today. Brutal. Jesus. God. And then, oh, hey, Sax, you're the last one up for batting practice since you just caught it for 2 hours. Why don't you step up and take a couple cuts? And then you hit one and your hands shatter on the damn bat. Like, God, why do I love this game so much?
And and for folks wondering why John has the Maryland stuff on, his son Joe is pitching for them now. So how's Maryland looking this year?
Good.
Yeah.
Really good. It's the sleeper team that we hit. Their biggest problem, they hit, and they play in this tiny little ballpark. Basically, it's very small. They got a lot of power hitters. They score a lot of runs. They're never out of a game. Last year in the Big Ten, they led the Big Ten in blowing leads after the 6th inning. So their pen was their biggest issue. They got a couple of really good arms in there, Joe, one of them. And I think they've straightened that out. But this team hits. They're never out of a game. Their shortstop is number 1 out of high school. He turned down, get this, I forget who drafted him in the first round. He turned down $1.1 million.
Jeez.
1.1 mil. He turned that down as an 18-year-old and to go to the University of Maryland. And now he's not eligible for 3 seasons. Like, he's not eligible until he's a junior.
Yeah, I think that's wrong.
So he's their shortstop. This team is going to score. They're going to hit. They're never out of a game. It's going to be exciting. They have some really live arms, and now they got a pen. And that was their biggest issue in 2025. So I think they're gonna make the Big Ten tournament, make some real noise in there. Look, I'm looking forward to go to all these Big Ten games, schools I've never been to, UCLA, Ohio State, Michigan State. It's going to be fun.
Or thawing out. Baseball season's coming in. Football season is winding down, but we've got a couple more games for you. Seahawks will be taking on the LA Rams tomorrow night. We broke down the AFC Championship, the NFC Championship. Let's do that now. Now, how the Seahawks got here? Well, the 49ers' magical run came to an end. Rashid Shaheed opening kickoff takes it to the house, 7-0 Seahawks, and they never look back. It was 17-0. Kenneth Walker, the third is what they like to call him. He had third, three. I was going to try to do third. We had 3 touchdowns, right? I don't know how to do that. So, but the 49ers season, we don't have Coach Vince on here. Brendan, seems like obviously they overachieved all season long. They were just brutal, battered with injuries all season. Fred Warner, you name it. Christian McCaffrey after the game, or the day after the game, even talked about bringing in another heavy hitter running back so they could, really give him some spells there, because he led the league in touches at his advanced age and after his multiple injuries and so forth. Talk a little bit about 49ers, and then, obviously the Seahawks have been maybe the most dominant team in football.
Yeah, I mean, even though San Francisco lost the game, I mean, what a hell of a year that they had. I mean, all the injuries they had to deal with. This team should have been eliminated, 3 months ago. I mean, most teams that would go through that would not have a chance and would not have even made the playoffs. So 49er fans should be very excited for the future. I think if they're able to stay healthy next year, I mean, look out with this team possibly. But, their luck ran out against a better team. Seattle Seahawks are, easily the best team in the NFC, in my opinion. And I think they're going to show that against the Rams. I mean, this is a tough team. They're tough on defense. They have a pretty good offense, too, if you guys haven't noticed. And the crowd noise in Seattle is going to be absolutely electric, crazy, ears ringing. I love the Seahawks this game. I think they win. I think the spread is still 3.5. I love the Seahawks 3.5 here.
Yeah, Chris, and this Sam Darnold storyline of him, not being able to perform in the big games it's kind of just lazy. I mean, he was with the Jets forever. He's rebuilt his career, had an insanely great regular season last year. And then when he's playing the toughest team of the year, because that's what happens in the playoffs, he comes up short. I mean, I think he's a darn good quarterback. Again, it's single elimination. NFL just puts you under a microscope. I think that storyline of him not being able to win in the big games goes away. It goes away now, and obviously he played very well last week as well.
Yeah, look, this is great. This is a great title matchup, isn't it? The same division. They played twice this year. Went to overtime. Rams won the first one. Seahawks came back, won in overtime. I at 2.5 probably take the Seahawks. At 3.5, I take the Rams. I think the Rams are going to keep it close, and Seattle wins on a last second field goal.
I know.
They have a better kicking game. It's like the first game. A lot of these things come down to special teams and kicking games when the teams are this close, this deep into the season. Look at how many times have we seen this throughout the playoffs, right? You get one off the uprights, you get a push from Tyler Loop. Boswell hits the uprights. I mean, it's just like pandemonium, but you have to have that kicker. And these are the things that turn fortunes. And I think the Rams will keep it close, and they might go to overtime. But I just because of the nature of the 2 games they played previous to this, and I haven't watched these teams that closely. If I'm betting this, I'm going, look, they went to overtime. They won by 1 last time, and the Rams won the first time. You give me 3.5, I'd take the Rams in 3.5.
John, specifically with Seahawks in that game last week, I know the 49ers are bruised and battered, but the 49ers still were able to win. I mean, the Kittle injury probably was what set it over the top, or they just couldn't make up for that. But that's no fluke, 41-6, and people better be on the lookout for Seattle.
Listen, it's rare you get into the championship games, and as a sports bettor, you love both games, one team. It's very rare. So I love Denver. I already bet them. I bet Seattle as soon as that LA game was over. I mean, as soon as the game was over, or the Seattle game was over, they opened up at 1.5. I bet it 2 seconds after the gun. So I bet him at 1.5. Now I'm betting him again at -2.5. Seattle's just a better team. The Rams are so over. If you look at that Rams game last week, right? They shouldn't have even won that game. How they let that tying touchdown pass get caught, how they let that happen.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
Caleb Williams is a beast. That was like the greatest pass in the history of man. And it was up in the air for like 9 seconds. How do you leave somebody wide open, stand there? It wasn't even contested. He just stand there and catches it.
Touchdown. Little push off.
Hand fighting.
Yes, maybe it was.
It was hand fighting. It was
a little hand fighting, but they didn't call it the whole game. Not like they did at the end of the Buffalo game, or all of a sudden, you don't call anything, and now, why don't we call three in a row? Ridiculous. I don't see the Rams. I don't see them staying in this game. I love Seattle. All the thing about Sam Darnold, all the guy does is goes out there and wins games. He played another good game. They're at home. I don't even think this game's going to be close. I love Seattle. 2.5, 3, 1.5. I don't care what it is. I love Seattle. Denver and Seattle, my two best bets. Obviously, there's only 2 games, but I don't think the Rams are going to be in this game at the end of the third quarter.
Well, is it 2.5 or 3.5? I'm
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah, 1.5. It's up to 2.5.
Moving around. All right, so I
love Seattle.
Experience matters when it comes to championship games, is what I've seen as I'm starting to get older here and there. The Rams having no chance. They have the MVP quarterback potentially in Matt Stafford, who's playing tremendous. They have maybe the best football mind where everyone is trying to hire all of its coaches all the time. He's playing somebody for the 3rd time, and we think everything's just going to be exactly the same as the last time. No way, man. I talked about Sam Darnold. I think I don't think he'll be the reason why. He's not going to throw like a pick, but he's not going to be as spectacular as Matt Stafford, in my opinion. Puka Nacua is.
Wait a minute. Whoa.
Yeah.
Stafford sucked last week. Do you see how many balls he missed? One after the other? This guy's aging.
2 weeks of aging. Of course he's aging. The Rams have been
covered in that game. They should have covered. First of all, you're betting the Rams. I forget what I laid. Was it 3-2? I don't even remember. 5, 4, 4.5, right? You're betting the Rams. The game's over. They got Caleb Williams running backwards.
Oh, I lost a lot of money on that. Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to win this bet, right? And then he throws his thing and there's a little push off. He catches it. So then you go to overtime. Then they try good move 2 times to get the ball in the end zone. They would have won by 6. You cover the second pass right in the guy's arms. He drops it. But if you look at that game, the number of passes that Stafford missed against a crap defense. I mean, the Chicago Bears defense sucks. They were 28 in the league. Can't stop the pass. Can't stop a runny nose. And they almost beat the Rams. Now they go to Seattle. Lights out, baby.
When Hall of Fame quarterbacks on MVP heater runs, do they have 2 games bad in a row?
I think he's done.
Stafford's not going to have a
I think he's too old. I think he's done.
I mean, where's this coming from? Because of last week, he might win the MVP.
I don't care what he does.
You got to go on most recent performance.
They should have got beat by the Bears, who aren't that good of a team. They should have got beat that game.
Hey, how about the Bears, though? Shout out. What a season. Wow. Caleb Williams gave us some of the most magical moments, the jump pass, the logo pass, and that pass last week, which, by the way, and the game before, I bought the hook. I brought it down to 3. That one was at 3.5. And when they went to overtime, I lost a buttload of money. I was like, no. So, Caleb, shout out. You lost me my mortgage, but it's fine.
That was jumping out of your seat moment when you're watching the game. I mean, 45 yards, 48-yard pass off your back heel, moving, falling backwards, seriously, on a dime to commit.
And just think about this playoffs we've had so far. And besides the 41-6 and maybe the Patriots 28-16, but that was a good game against the Texans. They have been so close. I mean, the NFL, to your point with Major League Baseball, look, this is what you guys could have. These close competitive matchups, especially around the playoffs. Right. And that's what we get with the NFL. I am going because I got heated up. No reason at all. Going to the Rams just to be the contrarian here. Plus 2.5.
Smart betting. That's the way to bet.
Plus 2.5. Well, Matt Stafford. He's the MVP. He can't have 2 bad games in a row, right?
Sure he can. It's the NFL.
Anyone taking the over? Yeah,
I'll be looking against one of the best defenses in the league. Sure, it can happen. Maybe on the road, again in the loudest stadium in the league.
Listen, you wanna win some money, right? This is a gambling show.
Yes.
I love Denver. I love Seattle. Both of those, you're going to cash those tickets. Everything else here is noise. I got the best record in the playoffs, ATS, against all you guys. Those are my 2 big bets we're going to win by. I got 2 hockey plays tonight.
Do it.
Well, I'll give those in a minute because I got them written down here. Let me just.
I'll give mine right here.
Go ahead.
West Virginia, Arizona. West Virginia plus 17.5. You're up 17.5 to nothing.
That's a good bet.
Trayson Eagles staff, watch out. He is starting to figure it out. He's playing loose. This team can do something. They're probably not going to beat them, but I like being up 17.5 to nothing.
North Carolina at Virginia today. North Carolina is getting 6.5 at Virginia. They're christening the court for Tony Bennett. That's a lot of points to give North Carolina at Virginia right now this early in the season. I like North Carolina to cover that one.
That's a tough one. UVA is a good squad. Brendan,
it's a good squad, but 6.5.
I'm with you.
We got 2 hockey bets today. Carolina on the road at Iowa minus 130. Ottawa is just a complete dumpster fire. They come out on the ice. The Boo Birds are out. Carolina's got to start to make their move. I like Carolina minus 130. The other game, there's some really good games on the card today. So that is one. The other game that I really like tonight is the Sabres minus 105 on the road at the Islanders. Islanders are just now playing good hockey. They're tanking. Buffalo has been better this season on the road than they ever have in the past. They got a shot to make the playoffs. So I like the Sabres minus 105 over the Islanders.
Come on, Sabres. Your town needs you. Your town needs you. They lost their coach.
That's
lost
right.
Another playoff game.
That's right.
They need you. They need to jump through some
Look
tables.
at the Penguins tomorrow at Vancouver. The Penguins are just on an absolute heater on this road trip, and Skinner will be in the net. Take the Penguins over the Canucks.
I like that game, and the other thing is, I tell you what, Vancouver is so bad. I mean, they're just so
bad.
They're so bad. So yeah, Pittsburgh should win. But the problem with betting the Penguins in these games, Chris, on the road against bad teams, is that's when they lose.
They got to shoot out.
They got a sleeve wash in the net. But he's playing. Look, Skinner is rolling. He's 7-1-1, and they've got a great. That team is coming together. Chinnikov, the pickup from Columbus, he is fantastic. That team is gelling, and they're feeling it. They scored 3 goals in 37 seconds the other night.
I mean, there was a 90% chance to start the year that we'd be sellers. And
absolutely.
Or not. Brendan,
now we're number 2 in the Metro right now, guys. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, Penguins tomorrow for sure.
Let's go Pens.
First off, let's say the Utah Mammoth over the Nashville Predators at minus 1.5.
Shout out to the Mammoth.
Mammoth, all they had to do was get out of Arizona. I love the Montreal Canadiens tonight over the Boston Bruins. Canadians are coming along. John alluded to them earlier. They're a fun team to watch. And lastly, the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to obliterate the lowly Columbus Blue Jackets.
Columbus is horrible.
Columbus is terrible.
Well, just from a pure love of the sport and love of rivalry, you should watch Canadians and Bruins.
It's going to be a great game.
It's one of the great underrated rivalries in all of sports.
And they got 2 good teams. I mean, it's really going to be a great. That's the game tonight that I'm going to watch on NHL. I got the NHL channel, whatever that is, $89.
Watch some NHL, then put on Paramount Plus and watch the UFC tonight, and take Patty tonight over Justin Gaethje. I'm telling you, you're going to win your money. Also tonight, the Capitals won their first in hockey. They won their first game last night. They're on a West Coast trip, and they've been playing terrible. They're on a back-to-backer. They're not going to win. The Oilers take them tonight as well. Those are my 2 bets.
Who's in the net for the Oilers?
I don't know. I should have.
Edmonton's gonna
That's a
win that.
big one.
Edmonton's gonna win
If it's
that game.
Jari, he was pasted the other night by the Penguins.
He was. But yeah, and I want to plug it again. Paramount Plus, UFC, great card tonight. AFC, NFC championships tomorrow. That's it for our show. Join us next week, please. We'll do it again. We're going to be previewing the Super Bowl potentially. I want to thank John Fredericks, Chris Sackman, and Brendan Statler. I'm Mitch Rogers. Stay on this network and listen to the Jay Delsing Golf Show. It's awesome. And everybody stay safe and stay warm. See you next week.
You guys,
Not a chance.
thanks.
Not a chance.
I'm already drinking.
Freaking